Hello everyone, my name is Gina Frericks and I'm going to talk about a leader in a cultural institution for our video assignment. And the leader I chose, his name is Paul Chapin. He is the regional manager of the Spokane Public Library in the North Region of Spokane, and he is also in charge of future leadership training at the Spokane Public Library. And what he does in that position is he builds up lower level staff members to be the next generation of leaders in the library system. So let's begin with these questions. The first question, what are the greatest threats and the greatest benefits of using social media and other types of digital media to convey information about their institution? When I asked Paul about this question, he said that he believed the biggest threats to all of this are when people make poor judgment calls about information. He thinks that it's easy to make a mistake or to judge something as accurate or even false when it's the opposite of that. He used an example about medical information and how people don't necessarily know where to go to get that kind of information. And social media, I hope, doesn't have any play in that, but that was the example he used. As far as benefits, Paul believes that the benefits of social media are the speed of connection, its ubiquity, and its availability on mobile devices. So the ability to communicate quick, efficiently, at any point in time and almost anywhere. The next question that I asked Paul was, what is an effective way to communicate change to employees? He explained that it's very important to get them to buy into the process. And to do that, he recommends making sure that they understand the challenge or the problem and why this change needs to happen. He says that as a leader, quite often he hears the question, why are we changing? Why is it important to change? And explaining that through means of the library's vision and how these changes contribute to that definitely helps. He says that the frequency of dialogue is critical as well, and that it's important to be transparent throughout the process because that's important to employee well-being. He explains that if employees are not given the information they need, they often create a scenario in their head which is often worse than the truth. So it's better to be transparent, and that builds trust as well. Next, I asked Paul, how does he implement transformational leadership? And he was happy that I asked this question because we're getting ready for the next 2020 year at the Spokane Public Library, and he is going around and he's talking to all of the managerial staff and asking them to choose to mentor an employee that they supervise and help them grow in their work. And he said that it's kind of surprising who will end up becoming mentored, because it's more about who's willing versus who's gifted and who's most likely to succeed in those roles. It's more who wants them and who wants to jump at the opportunity. He also explained that encouraging employees to participate in the organization is a big way to implement transformational leadership. And he encourages staff to be willing to look outside of the organization to access new and fresh information to bring that back to the library. He believes that as a transformational leader, it's very important to provide guidance and insight to help keep the employee on track and to help them find their way. And he concludes this question by saying that it's very important to make sure that as a leader, you're asking the people beneath you to measure and keep track of what they're doing so that he can measure progress and use this information to benefit the organization, benefit the employee and their own employment goals and career goals. And finally, and next question was, what is their leadership style? And how has this style made them successful? how does this leadership style affect their means of communication, whether that's digital, oral, or other forms. Paul says that his organizational style is optimistic, encouraging, and teaching. And he feels that this has worked very well because he is able to show the individual people he's supervising or managing that they are valuable and what they're doing is valuable. And once they gain confidence in that knowledge, they can build upon that. And he believes that instilling that confidence intrinsically motivates his employees, and they do better and perform well at work. As far as the type of communication he prefers to talk to employees face to face. He believes FaceTime is very important, and the rest of the time, because it isn't possible to always be there, he will use phone or email. But he definitely prefers face to face, and using the phone is second best. As much direct communication or as close as possible to direct communication is what he prefers. The next question. With many companies currently having their data hacked or sold when it is stored in a digital medium, Facebook, digital repository, or email, what precautions does Paul take to ensure proper security? And do they limit any types of digital communications, or does he encourage any types of digital communications? When I asked Paul this question, he immediately responded that verbal is best because that is the most secure form of communication. It's not documented. There's not a big long paper trail. It's not likely to get out and to be used out of context or anything like that. And it's better to talk to people in person anyway. It's more personal. But he prefers to speak verbally because it is the most secure. And the second form of communication that he chooses is to use the phone, because the phone is the next most secure. And it's less likely to be recorded or acquired for whatever reason. In working in a cultural heritage institution like a library, it's a government institution, so everything that's in writing or in email can be requested by the public. So he prefers to not send the majority of correspondence through email. It's either first in person and second on the phone. And the next question, what does he consider vital components of effective communication in order to promote change in the organization? And his answer was pretty short on this one. He said that it should be simple, it should be stated early in the process of change, it should encourage questions, and they should need to come back to the message again and again and repeat what the message is so that it sticks with the employees and they are more likely to remember it. So I've known Paul for a little while, and he is actually my boss. And what I really, really like about Paul's leadership style is that he is very supportive of me personally. And I know that that's just his leadership style, is that he wants to be supportive of the people that are his employees, and to make sure that we have what we need to do our jobs effectively, that he listens, and that he is willing to teach and to develop our careers and ask what our goals are and to work with us on those types of things. He wants to see me as a new librarian succeed and have a very robust career. And many times he's told me, I don't want to lose you to another organization, but I definitely want to make sure that we're putting things on your resume and we're making you a very valuable employee by investing in you. And I haven't worked that many places where that's been the mentality. I have often worked in places where everybody's kind of protecting their own knowledge and not sharing it so other people can't replace them in the organization. But this feels, the way that he has been a leader in my experience with him makes me want to contribute more, makes me want to do more for my institution, and makes me happier in my work. So when I go on and I become a leader in my organization, I want to make sure and do these same things that Paul does, to support and to encourage and to build up my employees. Thank you.